What exactly is hybrid training? Well, the term is fairly new. The style of training has been around for a while. We've been taking different elements from different fitness modalities and combining them for a long time. A good example of that is CrossFit, where you have gymnastics, weightlifting, and various other fitness modalities all kind of rolled into one. The major difference between something like that and hybrid is with hybrid, we're only taking two fitness modalities and we're meshing them together through training, and we're attempting to get better at both of them over the course of time. So for my example, the way I use hybrid training is with a combination of weightlifting and powerlifting mixed with some running. We're going to bridge them together in preparation for a half marathon I'm going to be running at the end of this year. And the goal is to maintain or gain strength while improving my endurance and running long distance. In this video, I'm going to go over some of the pros, some of the cons, and also some of the major considerations that you should think about before you start hybrid training yourself. The first pro of hybrid training is our ability to be more dynamic. We're not meant to be one-dimensional and only focusing on one thing at a time. During a hybrid training block, I've been able to come to the gym, hit the heaviest lifts I've ever hit, while running the fastest 5Ks and 10Ks that I've ever ran. And that's exactly what this channel is all about, is bringing you guys the information to where you can seamlessly blend both of your training styles and excel at both. Let's talk about another pro of hybrid training, and that's going to be the mental rewards. And what better place to talk about it than this awesome trail? When you're running, there's so many ways that you can have milestones hit throughout your journey. And when you're lifting, there's so many ways that you can have milestones hit throughout your lifting. And when you combine the two, it makes your training so much more rewarding because you're able to check these boxes off all along the way the entire time. Hybrid training does have a lot of pros, but there's definitely a couple cons that I want to cover as well. And the first one revolves around your mindset and setting the right expectations. So whether you're just getting started in your fitness journey or whether you're a seasoned veteran in the fitness world, there's things about having the right mindset when you start combining training methodologies that are extremely important. So let's say you just got started and you've never ran ever. Well, it's probably not a great idea to set a 5K as your first goal. You don't want to go out and the first thing you do is try and run that 5K because you're just going to set yourself up for disappointment because it's going to be really tough. And on the flip side of that, let's say you're a veteran in the gym and you've been lifting and you have built muscle over years. When you go out to do your first run, you are going to be humbled because it is significantly harder than what you think. And you're going to feel like you should be doing better, or you should be the fastest in your run club, or whatever the case is. When you're a veteran in one area doesn't make you a veteran in another area. So coming into it with the right expectations is key. The final con that I want to cover with you guys is injury. So whether you're lifting or whether you're running, injuries are going to happen. We all know it. They come up out of nowhere sometimes. Sometimes it's something we've ignored and turns into something major. However, when you're running and lifting at the same time, one injury can take you out of the other sport, and that can be extremely difficult, especially on someone that mentally really enjoys training. So injury prevention is absolutely key, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a later episode. We've talked about the pros, we've talked about the cons of hybrid training. Now I want to talk a little bit about just some considerations, because hybrid training is unique, and unlike other forms of training, you're combining two methodologies, so there's a lot to take into account. And the first one is going to be your plan. That's not as simple as just going and buying a running plan and buying a lifting plan and putting them together. You want to make sure that your running and that your lifting plan work together to make each one better along your journey while you hit those milestones. You don't want them working against each other. The other consideration that I want to talk to you guys about is nutrition. Like I said in the pros earlier, we're going to be expending a lot of extra calories. However, that doesn't mean we can just eat hot dogs and pizza. We've really got to make sure we're balancing our macros in order to stay fueled and to have enough energy to get through these long, grueling training weeks, because we're running and lifting, and that's going to take a lot out of us. So nutrition, absolutely key. Second, I want to talk a little bit about hydration. And this is from personal experience. When you start running, especially in an area like Florida where it's humid and hot, the level of hydration you need is going to be much more than what you think. So get a hydration strategy, whether it's hydration sticks or drinks, goo, any of those stuff. Try stuff out, see what works best for you. But hydration is absolutely something that you need to consider when you start hybrid training. Last consideration I want to talk to you guys about is injury prevention and recovery. So we're not just lifting, we're not just running, we're doing both. We talked about the time, our weeks are packed, our training calendar is full. So what we want to make sure is that what we're asking out of our bodies, we're putting back into it through recovery, making sure we're getting enough sleep, hydration, which we touched on earlier, and all of the stretching and foam rolling, mobility, all of that stuff is extremely important. So we want to make time for that. The other thing I want to talk about is injury prevention. And I've got a treat for you guys. Next week, I'm going to introduce you to Shane, who's a friend of the channel and a prehab rehab expert. He's going to be going over some of the more common injuries that he sees with people that have just started running or running longer distances for the first time. He's also going to give us some great insight on some of the exercises that we can do to help prevent those injuries, also strengthen our bodies and make sure that we stay healthy throughout our hybrid training journey. Thanks for checking out the video, and I'm super excited to be working towards this half marathon, and I'm even more excited to bring you guys along with me for this journey. I'm going to be showing you all the ups, all the downs, the training, the recovery, the nutrition. I have so much in store for this season, and I'm super excited that you guys are going to be able to check it out along with me. So lift big, live bigger, and I'll catch you in the next video.